Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
I like that sigh.
It's the end of the week sigh. Enter into Shabbat sigh. Let's get warmed up a little bit. Hava Nashira, let us sing. Hava Nashira, Hava Nashira, Hava Nashira, let us sing. Try that. Hava Nashira, Hava Nashira, Hava Nashira, let us sing once more. Hava Nashira, Hava Nashira, Hava Nashira, let us sing. Repeat after me. Come let us sing. Come let us sing. Come let us sing. Hava Nashira. Come let us sing. Come let us sing. Come let us sing. Hava Nashira. Hava Nashira, Hava Nashira, Hava Nashira, let us sing. Hava Nashira, Hava Nashira, Hava Nashira, let us sing. Come let us sing. Come let us sing. Come let us sing, Hava Nashira. Come let us sing, come let us sing, come let us sing, Hava Nashira. Hava Nashira, Hava Nashira, Hava Nashira, let us sing. Hava Nashira, Hava Nashira, Hava Nashira, let us sing.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Welcome those who are with us in our sanctuary. Welcome those of you who are joining us online. Turn around and wave to the camera back there, everybody, so we can make everybody feel welcome to our Shabbat, Erev Shabbat service, Parashat Chayei. I am Rabbi Joe Black. I'm the senior rabbi here at Temple Emanuel. Who are you?
I am Steve Brodsky. I'm the Cantorial Soloist and Music Director here at Temple.
And with us is Ken Mervine, our accompanist on the piano. And we are so happy to be able to be together singing and praying together. We're going to continue with the kindling of the Shabbat lights. I want to invite a member of our Board of Trustees, Lori Kalada, to come up and help us kindle the lights.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Thank you, Lori. Shabbat is the place where time and space meet without questioning how the beginning began or how the ending ends. Together, Shabbat is the place where song and silence meet,
blessing each other with the gift of rest.
Shabbat is the place where dreams and angels meet, yearning together for a world of peace. Shabbat is the place where holiness and eternity meet, praying together for the world to come.
Come, let us sing a song of Shabbat. Come, let us sing a song of Shabbat. Sing that again. Come, let us sing a song of Shabbat. Come, let us sing a song of Shabbat. Mizmor shir liyom haShabbat. Mizmor shir liyom haShabbat. Tov lehodot l'Adonai uzamer l'shimcha Elyon. Tov lehodot l'Adonai uzamer l'shimcha Elyon. Mizmor shir liyom haShabbat. Mizmor shir liyom haShabbat. It's good to give thanks, to give praise and sing songs to your name, Holy One. It's good to give thanks, to give praise and sing songs to your name, Holy One. Mizmor shir liyom haShabbat. Mizmor shir liyom haShabbat. Come, let us sing a song of Shabbat. Come, let us sing a song of Shabbat.
Fall is coming, even though it was so beautiful outside today. We saw the change. We're seeing it. We're feeling it in the colors of the leaves. It's holding on beautifully. I can't remember an autumn this beautiful in recent years. And we anticipate change like we would greet something wondrous, something holy, because change reminds us of the continuity of life. And when we welcome the Shabbat, welcome change in ourselves, in our lives. Not that Shabbat changes things, just the opposite. Shabbat gives us a pause from the constant change in our lives. Yet it is a gift, like the changing of the seasons, like the gifts God gives us. We welcome Shabbat with these words, Lecha dodi likrat kala, come my beloved, to greet the Shabbat bride.
Lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekavela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekavela. Let's sing that one more time. Lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekavela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekavela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad, yishmianu el ha-meyuchad. Adonai echad u'shmo echad, v'shemu tiferet v'litila. Lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekavela. Lecha dodi לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי מקור הברכה.
בראש מקדם נסוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי באורך קומי אורי. אורי, אורי, שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. We rise as we are able and turn to face the entry to our sanctuary to welcome the Shabbat bride. בואי ושלום, עטרת בלב, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
We remain standing for the call to worship. Baruch Hu.
Yai lai lai, lai 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 lai. 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 Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamevorach. Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Le'olam va'ed. Le'olam, 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 le'olam va'ed. Yai lai lai, lai 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 lai. Yai lai lai, lai 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 lai. Yai lai lai, lai 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 lai. Yai lai lai, lai 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 lai.
This is balance. The world is entirely consumed by darkness. then brimming with light together. The
The seasons approach one after the other, bring unbearable heat, bitter cold, and everything in between. Joy fades, loss makes space for growth and new life.
Balance is not a perfect blend of extremes. It is something that takes place inside a larger system. It is a perspective, an awareness that makes space for us to fully experience winter, and then spring, light, and then darkness, darkness, and then light.
Life of all worlds, thank you for giving us the strength to allow our world, our heart, to be big enough for it all.
Baruch ata Adonai ha'ma'ariv aravim. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on the evening.
Ahavat olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha ahavta. We are love, 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 by unending love and unending love. Ahavat olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha ahavta. We are love, 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 by unending love and unending love.
Love beyond all space and time. Your love unfolds your people Israel. We receive it in your teaching, your gift of Torah, sacred obligations, discipline, and law together. So let us speak these teachings when we lie down and rise up and find joy forever in your Torah and mitzvot. They are the very essence of life, ours to ponder and study all our days. May we never lose or be unworthy of your love. For you are blessed, the one who loves your people Israel. Baruch ata Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael.
Ahavat olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha ahavta. We are love, 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 by unending love and unending love. Ahavat olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha ahavta. We are love, 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 by unending love and unending love. Open up our eyes, teach us how to live. Fill our hearts with joy and all the love you have to give. Gather us in peace as you lead us to your name, and we will know that you are one, and we will know that you are one. Shema, Shema Yisrael, Adonai, Eloheinu, Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Adonai Echad. Shema, Shema Yisrael. Adonai Echad, Adonai Echad, Baruch, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Who is like you, God of mystery and majesty, distant and present, thundering and quiet, the beginning and the end, the atom and the cosmos, the darkness and the light together, the one and the all, pillar and foundation, artist of sea and sky, author of the miraculous and the mundane, source of life, blessing and sustaining. Who is like you, glorious in holiness, to whom we praise, to whom we give thanks? The God who redeemed us from Egypt, the God who parted the sea, the God to whom Miriam and Moses led us in song.
Yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nehedar b'kodesh, Nora tehilot, osef eleh, Nora tehilot, osef eleh, malchutecha ra'u vanecha, bokei hayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam, ze'eh יענו ואמרו אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה. Yalai la la la, yalai la 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 la, yalai la la la, yalai la 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 la, yalai la la la, yalai la 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 la, yalai la la la, yalai la la la.
Thus it is said, Adonai redeemed Jacob from a hand stronger than his own. Praised are you, Adonai, for redeeming Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, Ga'al Yisrael.
God, thank you for joy and delight, for wonder and awe, for moments of gladness and celebration. Grant me the ability to breathe gentleness into my hours and seasons, so that I live awake to beauty, to holiness, to the radiance that surrounds us. Grant me the wisdom to arrive each day with passion and humor, with song and dance, with smiling eyes, in service to myself, in service to others, in service to your holy name.
שומר שבת, ישמחו במלכותך, שומר שבת, וקורא עונג, וקורא עונג, ישמחו במלכותך, שומר שבת. המקדשי, מקדשי שבי, כולם ישבעו ומטובך, ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי שבת. ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי שבת. וקורא עונג, וקורא עונג, ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי שבת. והשביעי רצית בו וקידשתו, חמדת ימים אותו קראת, זכר למעשה בראשית. ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי שבת. ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי שבת. וקורא עונג, וקורא עונג, ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי שבת. ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי שבת. שומרי שבת. Prayer is at the heart not only of great religion, but of significant living. Without prayer, we cannot scale the heights of compassion or reach the peaks of love of our neighbor, of which we are called and capable together. Prayer is a step on which we rise from the self we are to the self we wish to be. Prayer affirms the hope no reality can crush, the goal that can never acknowledge defeat. Prayer is not an escape from duty. It is no substitute for the deed. Prayer seeks the power to do wisely, to act generously, to live helpfully. It helps to reinforce the act rather than replace it. Prayer is the search for silence in the midst of life. Our prayers are answered not when we are given what we ask, but when we are challenged to be what we can be. We rise now as we are able.
Adonai, Sfatai, Tiftach. Adonai, Sfatai, Tiftach. Ufi Yagid, Tehilatecha. Ufi Yagid, Tehilatecha. Adonai, Sfatai, Tiftach. Adonai, Sfatai, Tiftach. Ufi Yagid, Tehilatecha. Ufi Yagid, Tehilatecha. Adonai, Sfatai, Tiftach. Adonai, Sfatai, Tiftach. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah. Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei Hakol, V'zocher Chastei Avot v'Imahot, Umevi Geula Livnei V'neihem, Leman Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer, U'Moshia U'Magen. Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, ve'ezrat Sarah. Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayei hakol atah Rav lehoshia. Mashiv haruach u'morid hagashem. Mechalkel chaim bechesed, Mechayei hakol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim v'rofeh cholim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato, Lishenei afar, Michamocha ba'al gevurot, Umidom elach, Melech memit umechaye, umatzmiach Yeshua, v'ne'eman ata lehachayot ha'kol, Baruch atah Adonai, mechaye ha'kol. Ata kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, ukedoshim b'chol yom yehalelucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el ha'kadosh.
Please be seated, and we continue silently this time of introspection, this hot tefillah, the prayer. The rabbis have fixed prayer, keva, and they have the prayer of the heart, kavanah. So we look within to say what we are thankful for as we move into the month of Thanksgiving very soon. For what are we thankful? For what do we have questions? How do we want to talk to God? Let's take a few moments each in our own way and pray in silence.
Ose Shalom Bimromav Ose Shalom Bimromav Uyase Shalom Uyase Shalom Uyase Shalom Aleinu. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. Ose Shalom Bimromav Ose Shalom Bimromav Uyase Shalom Uyase Shalom Uyase Shalom Aleinu. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. Ose Shalom Bimromav Ose Shalom Bimromav.
So we continue with Seder Kriyat Torah. This weekend is very unusual in that there is no bar or bat mitzvah. No, in some ways, yes. And so we invite you to rise as we prepare to take the Torah out of the ark.
Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Kohan Shama Tehallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Kohan Shama Tehallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Kohan Shama Tehallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Kohan Shama Tehallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah.
Shabbat Shalom.
But Shalom.
So this week, we marked a very somber anniversary. 3 years ago, on Shabbat morning, October 27th, a lone gunman named Robert Bowers walked into the Tree of Life synagogue in the Squirrel Hill neighborhood of Pittsburgh, a wonderful, vibrant Jewish community in the city of Pittsburgh, and opened fire, killing 11 souls who were worshiping together. Their names were Joyce Feinberg, age 75, Richard Gottfried, age 65, Rose Mallinger, age 97, Jerry Rabinowitz, age 66, Cecil Rosenthal, age 59, David Rosenthal, age 54, brothers, Bernice Simon, 84, and Sylvan Simon, husband and wife, ages 86 and 71. Sylvan and Daniel Stein, Melvin Wax, 71 and 88, and Irving Younger, age 69, Zichronam Livracha, may their memories be for a blessing. This was the deadliest attack on Jews in the history of the United States. The murderer, Bowers, repeatedly shouted, "All Jews must die." And he justified his murderous rampage by saying that Chayei, which became known as the Hebrew Immigrant Aid Society, but now just by its initials, was destroying America by aiding refugees and helping them to come to our country. So many of us here tonight had relatives, grandparents, great-grandparents who were the beneficiaries of Chayei, who helped our relatives come to this country. This barbarous act followed the infamous Charlottesville, Virginia, Unite the Right rally, where neo-Nazis and white supremacists marched in the street shouting, "The Jews will not replace us." And many of the same people who marched in Charlottesville stormed the Capitol 1 year ago on January 6th. Less than a year ago. The rise of violent, conspiracy-driven militia and other far-right groups is something about which we all need to be concerned. Recent studies have shown that anti-Semitism is on the rise in our nation and around the world, not only from the far right, but from the far left as well. Many of you will recall that 3 years ago, following the Tree of Life tragedy, we read from Parashat Chayei Sarah, as we do this Shabbat as well. And at that service, I said the following, the service right after this horrible event. As I thought about what I might say tonight at this service, I looked into this week's Torah portion, Chayei Sarah. And like many portions in the book of Genesis, Chayei Sarah has multiple stories that are woven into the narrative. It begins with the death of Sarah and ends with the death of Abraham and Ishmael. And Abraham purchases the cave of Machpelah in Hebron. He then sends his servant to Canaan to find a wife for Isaac. And at the end of the Parsha, we read the following in Genesis chapter 25, verses 8 through 10. Then Abraham passed on and died in a good old age, an old man and full of years, and was gathered to his people. And his sons, Isaac and Ishmael, buried him in the cave of Machpelah, in the field of Ephron, the son of Zohar the Hittite, which is before Mamre, the field which Abraham purchased from the Hittites. There was Abraham buried, and Sarah his wife. And I said then, one of the most remarkable aspects of this text is the fact that Isaac and Ishmael bury their father together. If you recall, the last that we heard of Ishmael was when Abraham sent him and his mother Hagar out into the wilderness to die, because Sarah did not want Ishmael to be a threat to Isaac and his eventual birthright. Abraham had scarred Ishmael by casting him away. He had also scarred Isaac by almost slaughtering him on Mount Moriah. Abraham's death unites these two brothers. They both understand pain. They both understand loss. They both realize that no matter what events have taken place in their lives, they are bound together by a common task and purpose. Isaac and Ishmael had cause to hate their father and to hate each other. The Midrash in particular is filled with stories of their warfare, yet at the end of our parsha, they come together in peace in order to perform the vital mitzvah of burying their father Abraham. And in doing so, they are also symbolically burying the past and moving ahead to the future. That's what I said 3 years ago. And if there's anything today that we can learn from this horrible tragedy that we remember tonight, it may be found in the outpouring of love and solidarity that we experienced on the day after the shooting. If you will recall, this sanctuary was overflowing with people from every religious tradition, every political affiliation, and racial identity. I have never seen so many people in our building. The aisles were filled. People were standing. People were out in the hallway. It wasn't safe, but we did it because we had to. The pain and love and solidarity that we all felt at that moment was palpable, and I truly believe that it was a reflection of the best that our nation has to offer. So much of the language today we are hearing is divisive. The politics of isolationism and victimization have taken a toll on our souls. Seeing people from so many different communities coming together to show their love and support in the shadow of terror is both an affirmation of what we as a nation are all about and a powerful reflection of how we, like Isaac and Ishmael, can rise above our divisions in solidarity and celebrate the awareness that we are all created in the image of God. But my friends, on this anniversary, we need to remember that it should not only take tragedy to find ways to unite diverse groups. If the only time we find common ground is in the aftermath of horror, we're not doing enough as individuals and as a community. We should not only be brought together in times of tragedy, we need to open doors of connection with others that continue to bring us all together every day. Now, as many of you know, Temple Emanuel is engaged in a formal process of working towards becoming an anti-racist congregation. We've hired a consultant. We've identified diverse groups from within our community to begin the process of studying together, engaging in dialogue, and diving deeply into issues like white privilege, institutionalized racism, microaggression, and entrenched habits that most of us who are not people of color have not had to look at very closely. And our goal in pursuing this project is, once we have concluded this first phase of the process, we will broaden it to include larger and larger elements of our temple community. This has not been an easy process, that's for sure. It's one thing to talk about eradicating racism from our midst, quite another to see it in ourselves and confront the ugliness, pain, and feelings of otherness that people of color in our own congregation and those who come to visit feel every time they walk into our building, engage in dialogue, and strive to find places of commonality. The task that we face is arduous, it's long, it's often circuitous, but I believe it is essential. In a world in which racism is on the rise, we who are commanded to pursue peace and find the holiness implanted within all humanity. Have no choice but to be actively engaging in and learning and implementing what we have learned about equality and racism in our midst. We must follow the example of Isaac and Ishmael, brothers who had every reason to hate, but came together around love. We also know that racism and anti-Semitism and misogyny and revisionist thinking and so many other forms of hatred and denials are not merely an abstract concept. Just ask the relatives of those who have died, those whose names I listed, those who have died due to the malignancy of racist hatred, Jews, people of color, LGBTQ, Asian, Muslim, and so many other groups that do not fit into the myth of white Christian America that is increasingly radicalized in our nation and around the world. And so our task on this Shabbat, when we remember a tragedy, our task is to continue the difficult work of educating ourselves and working to build a better world for all of God's creation. May we be like Isaac and Ishmael, who were able to overcome fear, prejudice, differences, and find peace. Ken Yehi Ratzon, may it be God's will, and let us say amen. So I'm going to be reading from Genesis chapter 25, verses 5 through 11, and we're going to say the bracha together as soon as I find the text here. Steve, can you take this? Okay. Together.
Baruch hu et Adonai hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai hamvorach leolam va'ed.
Baruch ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch ata Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen. Vayten Avraham et kol asher lo liyitzchak. And Abraham gave everything that he had to Isaac. Ulivnei ha'pilgashim asher la'Avraham natan Avraham mitachat matana. And to the children of all of the concubines that Abraham had, he also gave gifts. Yishlachem me'al Yitzchak. But he sent them away from Isaac beno, his son. Ba'odeno chai kedma, be'edno chai kedma el eretz kedem, and they went off into the land in the east. Ve'ela yemei shnei Chayei Avraham, and these are the days of the years of the life of Abraham. Asher chai mea shana u'shiv'im shana u'chamesh shanim, who lived 100 years and 70 years and 5 years, 175 years. Vayigva vayomat Avraham b'seva, and Abraham was stricken and he died in comfort. Seva tova, zaken, old, basava, and satisfied. Vayasef el amav, and he was gathered unto his people. Vayikbru oto Yitzchak v'Yishmael banav, and Isaac and Ishmael his son buried him in Ma'arat HaMachpelah, in the cave of Machpelah, El Sdei Ephron ben Tzohar, in the field of Ephron the son of Tzohar Achiti the Hivite, Asher al Pnei Mamre, which is in the face of Mamre, Hasadeh Asher Kana Avraham Me'et Bnei Chet, the very field that Abraham had purchased from the children of Chet, the Hittites. Shama Kvar Avraham. There Abraham was buried. Sarah Ishto, and also Sarah his wife. Yecharei mot Avraham, and it came to pass after the death of Abraham, Livarech Elohim et Yitzchak beno. God blessed Isaac his son. Vayeshev Yitzchak im ba'er l'chai roi, and Isaac dwelled from Be'er to Chayei. Together.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai,
Shmo.
noten haTorah.
Amen. And so we continue. You have the list? Yeah. We continue with Mishaberach, this prayer asking God's blessing of healing on those in our congregation, in our community. As always, we will be reading a list of names, but if there are other names that are not on the list, but are in your hearts, say them out loud. Say them silently. Those of you watching online, write it in the chat, so all of us might ask for God's healing blessing on their behalf.
On this Shabbat, we hold in our prayers and in our hearts Zachary Hoffman, David Carner, Stuart Myers, Gene Silber, Scott Englender, Stacy Hoffman, Brian John Miller, Phyllis Schulman, James Tepper, Alan Davidson, Donald Gross, Douglas Hamilton, Ira Levine, Richard Seedroff, David Freed, Selma Slodek, Marshall Tobin, Lai Tek Teo, Gadi Eschel, Leslie Rohde, Eric Dellenbach, Shanti Hazan, Alex Buznavetsky, Lori Goldman, Larry Ambrose, Laura Culver, Ernie Stone, Carol Weiner, Jared Siegel, Arnold Brodsky, Robin Huss, Joseph Levy, Frank Schneider, Yana Vishnitsky, Henny Kaufman, Cindy Levy, Sarah Skirpan, and these others. Baruch atah Adonai, Rofeh HaCholim. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings healing to those in need.
Bless those in rise now as we are able to return the Torah to the Ark. And could I ask you, Danny Foster, our president, to come up and help? Trust the Torah.
וזאת התורה אשר שם משה לפני בני ישראל על פי אדוני ביד משה. יאי לי 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 יאי לי 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 יאי לי 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 יאי לי 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 יאי לי 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 עץ חיים היא למחזיקים בה ותומכיה מאושר דרכיה דרכי נועם וכל נתיבותיה שלום. השיבנו אדוני אליך ונשובה חדש עמנו כקדם.
We remain standing as we are able for Aleinu.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
Just moving ahead in my book here. Our thoughts now turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. On the Shabbat, we remember Uriel Klarsfeld, who was taken from us this past week. We remember Seymour, Ruby Rubenstein, and Debbie Alenikoff, who were taken from us in the previous 30 days. Linked to their names, those whose yahrzeit, the anniversary of whose death occurs at this time: Jerome Abelman, Marcia Wachtel, Annie Bauer, Harry Berry, Stanford Blecker, Larry Bodanis, Jack Budanovitz, Jeanette Cohen, Ben Cook, Bernice Feiner, Jack Lee Foreman, Lynn Frankel, Frida Friedman, Chester Goodstein, Barry Goralnik, Flora Goslinski, Anna K. Grimes, Sheila K. Hyatt, Harvey Kadish, Sidney Cohn, Morris Kramish, Robert Cusick, Fred Levy, Dora R. Lewin, Lillian M. Lewis, John C. Livingston, David Mark, Franklin Newman, Joyce Zober Opper, Gustav Ornauer, Sadie Rabbi, Marcus L. Robbins, Jack Rosenberg, Blanche Rudd, Molly Schnitzer, Morris Schoen, Ruth G. Scherbach, Francis Schucker, Sarah Schreiber, Eleanor Schulkin, Joseph Sigmund, Harriet Sobol, Stanley Solomon, Samuel J. Stein, Jay Steiner, Rose Stern, Sidney Stillman, Esther Stryker, Rose F. Stuhlbarge, Carl E. Sussman, Barry Trevithick, Carl L. Tucker, Douglas Wagner, Seymour L. Weil, Rosalind Wolf, Leonard H. Wolf, Reuben A. Zubrow, Ann W. Zubrow. We remember 11 souls that were snuffed out 11 years ago at the Tree of Life Synagogue in Squirrel Hill in Pittsburgh. And as always, we remember 10 of the 420 precious souls in the community of Kolin, with whom our congregation is linked through our Kolin Sefer Torah and our Kolin Chapel. Rita Krausova, Vera Krausova, Josefa Steinova Lauser, Hugo Lederer, Frantiska Leviova, Nisa Loi, Marketa Loyova, Yosef Lustig, Karol Lustig, and Marie Lustigova. Are there other names for whom Kaddish is being said? Say them out loud or write them in the chat if you are watching online. My thesis advisor and teacher, Rabbi Berechowski. Zichronam levracha, may their memories be for an eternal blessing. At this time, I ask if you have lost a loved one during the previous 30 days, please rise as you are able. I also see that Jenny Brynan was not mentioned on the list. I'm not sure why, Jeff, but we remember Jenny as well. If you have lost a loved one in the previous 11 months, please rise as you are able. If you are observing a yard site, the anniversary of a death, please rise now as you are able. And now in solidarity, let us all rise as we can, as we join together in ancient words of the mourners' Kaddish. Together. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabba v'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei v'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael ba'agala uv'izman kari v'imru amen Yehei shmei Rabba mitrach le'alam u'lalmei almaya Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh V'yit hadar, v'yit aleh, v'yit halal, shmei de kudsha brichu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran bi'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shmaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, imru amen. May the source of peace, who makes peace in places far beyond our knowing, send peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved. Here among us, let us all say, amen.
And let us say, amen. And let us say, and let us say, amen. And let us say, and let us say, amen. And let us say, and let us say, amen.
I ask you to, if you can, just to stand for a little bit longer. We have a few brief announcements. First of all, I know that some of you came here tonight thinking we were going to be dedicating the new plaques or dedicating the artwork that acknowledged those who had already given plaques. We made a decision, and we probably did not communicate that well enough, that we're going to wait until we can have more people in here to do that. So stay tuned. We're thinking we'd like to do it on Hanukkah, because Hanukkah is the festival of rededication, but we may not be able to have more people in here. That really depends on how safe we feel and how safe our reopening task force feels. And so stay tuned. We will be dedicating it. And speaking of which, those beautiful new seats, aren't they wonderful? They are missing something. New plaques. To honor and remember our loved ones. And so our new seats in the sanctuary provide an opportunity to affix new dedication and memorial plaques to the backs of the seats. And this is a meaningful way to mark a celebration of a life cycle event, memorialize a loved one, or honor Temple Emanuel with a gift. If you'd like to know more, Francie Wave, that's Francie Myron, that's our wonderful Director of Development. She can help you. We have many things happening. Tomorrow morning at 9:30 a.m. Torah study on Zoom with me. You can, if you have signed up for the Zoom link, we'll see you in person. You can follow on our Facebook page. You can follow on our website at 9:30 a.m. At 11 o'clock, our community service with me and Rabbi Hyatt. I get to be the musical soloist, and you get to take the day off.
It's a rare double Rabbi Shabbat.
It is a double Rabbi Shabbat. Don't forget that Sunday, November 7th at 9 o'clock a.m. To 1:30 p.m. at Infinity Park in Glendale, our Brotherhood annual blood drive that used to be led so ably by Matthew Height, and now he's passed it on. And we're trying to carry on your tradition, Matthew, of excellence. Check your e-notes to register for a link to be a blood donor. Don't forget that we will be having our Interfaith Thanksgiving service on Thanksgiving morning at Central Christian Church. Also online, you'll be hearing more about that as well. So look at our Facebook page, our website, our e-notes for upcoming events.
Shall we?
We shall.
Bless?
Yes.
Can
I hold your elbow up?
Please don't.
I won't.
Let's join together. Oh, here we go. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kirishanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodesho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reshit ki hu yom techila lemikrae kodesh zecher litziat mitzrayim Kivanu v'acharta ve'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava uvratzon hinechaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh HaShabbat. Amen. L'chaim.
Chaim. Still grape juice.
And we have an actual challah tonight, wrapped in...
Double wrapped. Raisin
for
challah.
your sanitary safety.
Yes.
Here we go. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Let's see, what are we doing for closing song?
Oseh Shalom.
Yes, Oseh Shalom. God who makes peace high up in the heavens in places beyond our knowledge, please, please, please send some peace down here for us, for all the people of Israel, and for everyone who lives on earth.
Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru.
Eloheinu v'Elohei kol dorotenu, our God and the God of every generation, generations past, those yet to be, as we come together on this Shabbat, may we be like Isaac and Ishmael, who found ways to navigate, overcome, and break down barriers. God, we need the ability to see the holiness in every human being. We ask your blessing on this Shabbat. Baruchim hayinu b'voenu, baruchim nihiyeh b'tzeitenu. Blessed were we in coming here. Blessed may we be as we go forth for this time and always. Amen. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat shalom.